Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, they lived a beautiful and warm-hearted girl one day. When her mother passed away, her father remarried another woman. This evil-hearted stepmother had 2 daughters, just as evil as herself. Her stepmother and stepsisters treated her very badly. "You cannot sit with us on the same table. You cannot sit with us. Oops, the glass fell down. Hurry and clean it up, Cinderella," while they were out. And having fun, she had to stay home and do all the dirty housework. Everybody at home used to call her Cinderella. When she got tired, she sat down in front of the fireplace, placed her cat on her lap, and tried to warm up with the dying fire. One fine morning, they received an invitation from the palace. A big ball is going to be held at the palace in honor of the prince, and all the girls eligible for marriage are invited. While the stepmother was preparing her daughters for the ball, Cinderella was unwillingly helping them. "You have to be the most beautiful girls in the ball. The prince must like you. Why can't I come? All the girls eligible for marriage are invited. Really, is this the outfit you're going to wear to the ball?" When the day for the ball had arrived, all alone at home, Cinderella couldn't help her tears and started crying. Right at that moment, a bright light appeared in the chimney. Through the bright light appeared a beautiful film. Cinderella could not believe her eyes, because this fairy was her mother. "Mother, hello, my darling. I came to help you. You too will go to the ball at the palace, really. But how with my little help now? You go get me the biggest pumpkin from the garden. And you, Kitty Cat, hurry up and fetch me 7 mice with one magic touch." The fairy transformed the pumpkin into a beautiful horse carriage. She then turned her magic wand to the mice. One of the mice became the driver, and the other 6 turned into beautiful white horses. "Now it's your turn. I look like princess, but mother, I do not know how to dance. What if the prince asks me to with these magic shoes? You will be the best dancing girl at the ball. Music, you must have a dance with the prince. Oh, but don't forget, my dear, the magic will be gone by exactly midnight. Therefore, you have to leave the ball before the clock hits 12. "Thank you very much, Mother. I will come before midnight. I promise, Mother. Would I be able to see you again? I'm always by your side." When Cinderella entered the palace with her elegance and beauty, suddenly all the heads turned towards her. Even her stepsisters could not recognize her, and of course the handsome prince was mesmerized by her beauty. The king and the queen also were very fond of Cinderella. Now that's what I call a princess. Prince immediately asked Cinderella to dance. Cinderella was floating on the dance floor thanks to her magic shoes. The stepmother and her daughters were speechless by her beauty, and full of rage with their jealousy. Cinderella was so happy she factions could not feel how fast time had passed, and completely forgot her promise to her mother. Suddenly, the clock on the wall caught her eye. It was almost midnight. Leaving the prince standing there, she ran down the ballroom stairs, and right when she was running, one of her magic shoes slipped off her foot. But there was not enough time to turn around and pick her shoe up. Running after Cinderella, the prince found her shoe lying on the stairs. Find the owner of the shoe as soon as possible, if necessary travel the whole country. But find her? The men traveled around the country, knocked on every door, and allowed every young girl to try the shoe on. But the shoe did not fit anyone until finally they arrived to Cinderella's house. Both the stepsisters tried the shoe on. If you push a little further, it will fit. Yes, yes. My daughter's feet are a little swollen because she's very tired. But the shoe did not fit either of them. The men said that their captain had seen another girl inside the house. There's another young lady in the house. As soon as Cinderella put on the shoe, the men knew that it belonged to her because the shoe fit her foot just perfectly. You have to come to the palace with us. Young lady, our prince awaits. For you, the princess men took Cinderella to the palace. When the prince saw Cinderella, he immediately recognized her and was very happy to see her. He went down on his knees and asked her to marry him. "Will you marry me, my princess?" Immediately, and with great pleasure, Cinderella accepted the prince's proposal, and they lived happily ever after. But so, how did it happen that my shoe didn't lose its magic? I'm always by your side, of course. Oh, mother, it was you all that time. Once upon a time, they lived a king who had 12 beautiful daughters. These 12 princesses lived all together in a big, beautiful room. The king protected his daughters with his heart, and when they went to bed at night time, he did not allow them to go out. But every morning they would wake up to something very strange. The shoes of the princesses would all be worn out, as if they had danced all night long. The king had to buy his daughters new shoes every day. But the following days after the shoes just kept wearing out, neither the king nor his men in the Procedon castle could solve the mystery of the shoes. How is this even possible? How can a pair of shoes worn out like that in just one night? Your Highness, we can't understand. Finally, the king said, "Whoever solves the mystery of my daughter's shoes will get to marry. Whichever daughter of mine he chooses become my son-in-law and get to be the king when I pass away. But he has 3 days and 3 nights to solve it. Otherwise, he will spend his life in prison." Many young men in the kingdom, and even princes from other kingdoms, came to the castle. For the job, for days, they guarded the door of the 12 princesses' bedroom. But after some time, none of them could solve a mystery, and shoes continued to wear out by the night. Finally, a good-hearted young man also wanted to give it a shot, and so he made his way to the castle. On his way, he met a lanky old lady who looked very poor. "My dear child, I'm very hungry. Would you be kind enough to give me a piece of bread?" The young man gave all the food he had in his bag to the old lady. She was very happy because the previous men who had passed didn't give anything. The old woman knew that this one was different than the others. So in return, she gave him a magic cape. "Take this magic cape. When you wear it, you will be invisible when it strikes 12 o'clock at night. Put the cape on, be invisible, and get in the princess's room this way. You can solve the mystery of the shoes, but be aware, do not drink what the princesses give you. No, those nasty princesses. The young man took the magic cape and went to the castle, and when he arrived, he said that he was there to solve the mystery of the shoes. First day when he was keeping guard in front of the princess's room, the oldest princess came out with a glass of lemonade. You must be thirsty. We have prepared some lemonade for you. Please have some. The young man forgot about the old lady's warning and drank it soon after. He was very sleepy. He fell asleep, snoring, all night in the room that they had prepared for him when it was morning. The young man stood up in a panic. I was supposed to wear the magic cape and get in the princess's back room on the second night. The young man once again kept guard in front of the princess's room. This time another princess came out with a glass of juice in her hand. The young man was so thirsty while keeping guard and waiting for the nightfall. Without thinking, he drank all the juice that had been given to him, music, and of course dozed off once again. Next morning, when he woke up, he finally remembered the old lady's words. But be aware, do not drink what the princesses give you. There must be a sleeping pill in the drinks princesses give me. At that moment, the king came next to him. 2 days have gone by, and you still haven't solved the mystery of the shoes. If you cannot do it today, you will end up in prison and stay there for the rest of your life. The king finished his talk and went away. The young man had to solve this mystery today. That night, for the last time, the young man kept guard in front of the princess's door. This time, the youngest princess came out with an orange juice in her hand. But the young man was aware. Now he took the glass, thanking the princess. And when the princess left, he poured the orange juice in a pot next to him. This time round he was standing tall. The night fell, and soon it was midnight. The young man put his cape on, and at that moment became invisible. Slowly he opened the door and could not believe what he was seeing. All of the princesses were wearing their most beautiful ball gowns, hair, and makeup, done with their very new shoes. Let's see if the young man at the door has fallen asleep. One of the princesses opened the door and looked outside, and another princess put her ear on the wall. At that moment, the young man knew that he had to make some snoring noises. The oldest princess pushed her back aside and clapped her hands 3 times. A secret passage opened in the place of the bed. The young man could not believe his eyes. One by one, all the princesses walked inside. And of course, the young man followed the secret passage, was opening to a stairway which had hundreds of steps going down. When they were going down the stairs at one point, young man accidentally stepped on one of the princess's skirts. "Oh, somebody stepped on my skirt." "Oh, nonsense. It was probably you." When the stairs had finished, they came into a forest. They went past tall trees with beautiful silver branches. The young man took a branch and kept following the princesses. After another long walk, they stopped on the edge of a river. In the river, there were 12 boats in the shape of swans, and in them there were 12 princes waiting for the princesses. They got on the boats, and the young man got on the last one. Boat seems heavier than usual today, as if another person is on it. Strange. Oh, come on, stop dreaming. When they crossed the river, they came across a big, shiny castle, and they could hear music coming from inside. When he looked through the window, the young man saw many people dancing. As soon as they entered the castle, the princesses started to dance. They would never get tired and just kept on dancing. Of course, their shoes started to wear out. The young man could not bear his hunger anymore, so he took a slice of cake on the table and started to eat. The youngest princess saw this. Hey, my cake! My cake is floating as if someone invisible is eating it. Come on, stop it with this nonsense. The young man took a golden cup from the table without anyone noticing. The princesses danced till the morning. Then they got on the boots across the river, walked through the forest, walked up the very long staircase, and finally they came back to their castle, but their shoes were all worn out once again. The young man was very happy that he had finally solved the mystery of the worn-out shoes. A while later, the king came next to the young man. Our time is up today. Did you solve the mystery of the shoes? Yes, Your Highness, I did. And so he told him everything. The former king didn't believe him at first, but when the young man showed him the silver branch from the forest and the golden cup from the shining castle, the king knew he was telling the truth, and so he kept his promise and granted him the right to marry whichever princess he chose. The young man said that he wanted to marry the youngest one. The 12 dancing princesses were clearly not happy because their secret was out now. But the young man and the youngest princess got married and lived happily ever after. Once upon a time there lived a very rich man. He had 3 daughters. 2 of them were really greedy and self-centered girls, but the third one had a heart full of love and kindness.